Okay, we're live. We are live. Hi.
Hey, we are live. This is Erica Sandberg, editor-at-large for Credit Card Guide. Today we are talking business credit cards with a fantastic expert that we have live today. His name is Greg Meyer of Meriwest Credit Union out of San Jose, California. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So good to have you, because this is a very important subject. We have a tremendous number of small business owners in the United States. Many of them do have business credit cards, but many don't. So let's really kind of get into the whole idea of why you should have one if you do have your own business, and kind of some pitfalls that are associated with them. So why don't we begin with talking about the differences between a personal credit card and a business credit card.
Okay, well, there's a number of differences. I think that one of the primary differences between a business and a personal credit card is that the business credit card does not show up on your personal credit statement. That's an important factor right there. So as you manage your business, if you're keeping a large line of credit and you're maintaining a large line of credit, it won't affect your personal ability to access credit. So from that point, it's separated. It also produces some positive growth. It shows positive credit growth for your business through your Dun & Bradstreet reports. And it also, helps you keep track of your finances and manage the overall business and keep those charges separate from your personal account. So when you're doing your bookkeeping, it's a lot easier.
Okay, and that's a really interesting point, because you say that it's separate, and yet don't you have to have good credit in order to qualify? So that would be your personal credit. So at what stage, do you get assessed regarding your personal credit history in order to even get a business credit card?
Great question. Well, the idea is that when you get a business credit card, they're going to review your personal credit, okay? Because it's a small business card. We're dealing with, this isn't a corporation. We're not IBM or Microsoft, right, that gets a corporate card that by just asking for it, you have to qualify for it. And you make a personal guarantee on that card. Now, granted, the information on that card doesn't show up in your credit report unless you become around about 60 days late. Then it'll start showing up in your credit report. Okay, but you do make a personal guarantee.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that at some stage they can be merged. So tell me, is it more difficult to qualify for one, less difficult? Give me a rundown on the qualification standards.
Well, I found that it's actually probably a little bit easier to qualify for a business card in some ways, because if you've got a good credit rating, if you've got, I'd say, probably better than 720 or 740 credit score, and it depends on the institution. Okay, so everybody's a little bit different in relation to their scoring criteria. But if you meet their scoring criteria, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to get the card, basically. And they're not really looking at the income of the business, because you might be a new business. So there's not a lot of, they'll ask you for the income of the business, and people, if it's a new business, I'm going to say, well, I'm probably going to make 50,000 bucks this first year. I'm going to put that in.
Okay, so you get one. Let's say you have one. Why would you even use it? Clearly with a personal credit card, you use it as a payment tool. You go out, maybe you get your haircut, you pay for this at the salon, you go shopping, you're at whatever you do. But the idea behind a personal credit card is that it helps you pay for something, it's convenient, it's safe, but then you pay off the entire debt so you don't get charged any interest rate. Is it used in a slightly different way, or maybe even a radically different way, when you have your own business and you're using that line?
Remember, all those expenses you have with your business, you can write off on your income for that business as well. So being able to place most of the expenses of your business onto one card is just tremendous for your bookkeeping. It saves your bookkeeper, your accountant, hours and hours of going through receipts, because also business credit cards will give you a little bit better rundown of the businesses with which you're doing business on your statement. So you have a little bit more information to work off of, so that you can determine which ones are actual write-offs and which are not going to be write-offs for you. So, because not all expenses are write-offs, of course.
Okay, Greg. So let's just say I'm in the market for a business card. I am a small business owner, want to get my business off the ground, I want to get a new card. What's the first step?
First step is really just applying. Actually, you don't even, in many cases, they don't ask for your fictitious business name statement or articles of incorporation, anything like that. Often they don't ask for those things. That it's almost a blind application, because you fill out the application and it's going to be based, like I say, since you're giving your personal guarantee. I sometimes find the credit card companies aren't too concerned with the name of the business, etc., just so long as there's a guarantee.
So it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. Like, for example, maybe I want to open up a dog walking business. I mean, I would assume, and you tell me if this is correct, that the type of credit that you can get for that would be quite different if you were to open up your more of a professional business. Say maybe you want to be a CPA, but you also need a credit line in order to kind of keep it going. So kind of different animals, different products for different types of businesses.
Right, and also, you know, you're looking at different types of businesses. Also, those banks may have, or those financial institutions may have some restrictions on the types of businesses that they lend to. Marijuana in California and Colorado, you know, that's a big business, but however, banks are still challenged in providing services to the pot clubs, to the cannabis clubs. And there's other businesses that some banks have issues with. You know, there's the sex trades, etc. So, you know, certainly they're going to look at the type of business that you have before they authorize anything for it. And yes, it will be based upon your income of the business, you know, your estimated income and things like that. I suppose that it's up to the underwriters to determine that. Okay.
All right. So it's interesting, actually, the whole vice issue. But now, obviously, there are some advantages. You get, as you say, you get kind of these detailed statements. It's certainly easier when you start to do your taxes. You can organize your life. The credit lines tend to be a little bit larger too, correct?
Does, yeah. Correct.
Yes. So, you know, I have a credit card right now. My credit line is, I think for one of them is around $5,000. I believe that's it. Does it tend to be considerably more than that?
Yeah, I think we're, you know, as the business manages its credit too, it will get increases in its credit line as it goes along. Similar to how, you know, we do with personal credit cards. But there's also a number of differences between, you know, business credit cards and personal credit cards, in that, you know, I don't know if you're aware that business credit cards aren't covered under the Credit Card Act of 2008.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about that. So let's talk about the protections, because you do have it. This is part of your business. And how protected are you?
Well, you know, you still have pretty good protections through there. And also, even for if you have to challenge a transaction that you need an investigation on the transaction that you made, that you know, you've returned the item, whatever, you get a lot of similar consumer coverage on that, you know. But I think the big differences are things like in the interest rate, that with consumers they get, I think it's a 21-day period to pay their bill. It's businesses do not get that same 21-day period to pay their bill. It's a little bit shorter period. There are other issues. And let me check. I have some notes here that I wanted to check on that. Also, yeah, pay increases or rate increases on that. They can increase the rate on your business credit card anytime they want without giving you any advance notice. Okay. In addition to
important to know. That is such a key factor. Is that in that respect, in that regard, it is definitely a little bit less attractive than a personal credit card. So you're going to have to weigh the benefits and the drawbacks, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because consumers get a 45-day notice before any key contract changes take effect, and that's not in effect for businesses.
Oh, no. Now, okay, I see a lot of people taking their business card on one hand and their personal card on another hand, and then they merge them. They merge their credit. Suddenly they're using their business card to pay for business expenses, and their personal. I know, it makes you crazy. Tell me why that's so bad. I mean, I can say why it's so bad because I hear all the people go, oh my gosh, what have I done? Let's go over what the problem with all that sort of merging is.
Well, your bank really doesn't mind, but the IRS is probably the ones who are going to really mind when you're combining your business transactions are turning up on your personal card and vice versa with your business card. It's keeping that information separate that's going to be the critical thing for us here that we want to do. Because keeping track of those finances, it's going to be easier for your expenses, it's going to be easier for your accountant, and also combining those things, it makes it too difficult for you to do your own bookkeeping and your own taxes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's certainly true. And if you have an issue where your business isn't doing so well, and then you're not making enough money, you're not making ends meet, you end up with a lot of debt, and you start looking in the world of bankruptcy. Can you include a business credit card in your personal bankruptcy?
Boy, you know what? That's one that I'm not sure, but I believe you can. If you're making a personal guarantee on that, I don't see any reason why you couldn't include that in your bankruptcy. But
Yeah.
then again, is your business filing bankruptcy? These are really questions that attorneys and IRS lawyers should be addressing.
Right, but it's definitely something to think about too when you do start merging, and how important it is to make sure business is business and personal is personal. Right.
Let me
Okay.
ask along those lines as well. You know, I did a lot of business lending when I was a branch manager, and I had a lot of businesses that would come in and they would finance their businesses on their personal credit card for the first 3 years of the business. Right? They're coming in and they're saying, "Yeah, I need a $100,000 line of business. My business is making $1 million a year now," but they've got $75,000 in credit card debt already. And it's like, "You want to pay off the credit card debt?" No, no, no. I just want to do a new credit line. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And my advice to small business people is don't finance your business with the personal credit cards in the beginning. Try to get a business credit card and use that to finance your beginning expenses.
Yeah, I mean that's great advice because definitely have seen people drown. Although I've also seen every once in a while somebody can make it, and that's a real exciting thing. But yeah, financing a business on any type of credit card is typically, even if it's a business card, it's probably not a good idea. A loan is very good for that, and also to use your personal assets. But there's a lot of products on the market right now. Is there anything that you're seeing that you go, oh, I really like this card?
Well, you know what? I think that a lot of credit unions are going into the business realm right now. And of course, I'm a little partial to credit unions. But, I worked in banking for 27 years, and I'm familiar with the banking products that are out there. And I'm finding the credit unions coming out with some products that are really well designed for small businesses, and also credit unions tend to take a longer look. Where a bank may decline a small business, the credit union will take a little bit longer look at them because they're a member. Okay, so as a member, it behooves us to take a little bit longer look at them to say, hey, how long has this person had their business? How long have they been a member of our institution? How have they managed some of their other borrowings from us, their personal borrowings? So we're going to take a look at the more holistic approach and look at the whole person rather than just certain aspects of their business or their credit.
Okay, well that's great. So definitely go through your credit union, check it out, check out all the deals that are available. Greg, this time went real fast. It really did. So let's keep the dialogue going and talk about business cards. Any last words that you have about the importance of doing it right?
Well, there's a couple of things also. There's rewards. So, consider your rewards, because certain business cards will give you different rewards than your personal credit cards will. You'll get rewards at places like Staples or, office supply stores, things like that. They're a little bit different, but you also, great for travel. Great for travel. Good to have a business card for travel.
That's right. Who doesn't love to travel? Okay, so thank you again for joining us. Until next time, people, I'm Erica Sandberg with Credit Card Guide.
Thanks a lot.